Ma'am, I'm here about the debris along this fence.
I know, I've been trying.
Officer, can you give me 1 hour before writing that? Do you live here by yourself?
Yes, son. Since my husband passed.
That old rack has to be cleared.
Please, don't tear down the wood rack.
Everyone saw an overgrown yard and an old pile of wood by the fence. Nobody saw the winter nights that rack helped people survive. When I pulled up, a police officer was standing near the sidewalk with a warning notice in his hand. The grass was high, the walkway was buried, bushes covered the windows, and vines had wrapped around the porch railing. Along the side fence, weeds had swallowed an old wooden rack stacked with dry logs, broken boards, and bundles of kindling. The officer said neighbors had complained for months. They called it debris. They said it looked unsafe. They said the whole side yard had to be cleared. The elderly woman in the doorway kept nodding quietly, but when the officer pointed toward the wood rack, she suddenly said, "Please, don't tear that down." I asked if she lived there by herself. She nodded and said, "Yes, son. Since my husband passed." Her name was Mrs. Nora. Her husband, Bill, had worked at a lumber yard most of his life. He was not rich, but he knew how to turn fallen branches, scrap lumber, and storm-damaged trees into something useful. One winter, an elderly neighbor came over crying because her heat had been shut off. She had been sleeping in her coat, afraid to tell anyone. Bill loaded his wheelbarrow with firewood, carried it to her porch, and left before she could feel embarrassed. Nora put a note on top that said, "Take enough to make it through tonight." After that, they built the rack by the fence. At first, it was just for that one neighbor. Then word spread. Seniors came quietly. Single parents came after dark. Veterans came before storms. Some people left $1 in a jar. Some left nothing at all. Bill never counted. Nora wrapped kindling in newspaper and tied each bundle with strings so weak hands could carry it. On the front of the rack, Bill painted, "Take what you need, stay warm." Nora said, "Cold makes people feel forgotten faster than anything." For years, that side yard helped families get through freezing nights when money was short and pride was heavy. After Bill passed, Mrs. Nora tried to keep the rack going, but her hands got weak. Her hips started hurting. The mower became too heavy. Then one afternoon, she tried to pull weeds away from the rack before the first cold night of the season, tripped, and fell beside the fence. After that, she stopped walking into the side yard alone. The grass grew, the path disappeared, the rack vanished behind weeds, and people started calling it trash. She whispered, "They thought I stopped caring. Truth is, I couldn't carry the wood anymore, and I couldn't carry winter without Bill." That hit me hard. So I asked the officer for time and started clearing the side path by hand.